Hello, you awesome friends. This is your pal, Edward here speaking. Thank you for watching another interview with Edward. And you know what? Every time I do an interview, I get a little bit happier because I get better at it. We get more popular, and that's thanks to your beautiful help all around the world. Now, I've got one of my very good friends and community members with us in this beautiful interview. He is a global fitness and health education coach, a LinkedIn influencer. He's a meetup leader. And he's also based in Melbourne, which is a beautiful city in the southeast of Australia, where I'm actually originally from. And it's a city of arts, coffee, and extremely cold weather. How are you doing today, Adrian?
Edward, mate, I am super excited. And to be honest, I'm a little fresh. I'm a little cold at the moment, sitting outside, but I'm super pumped up to be having a chat with you today. So thank you.
And it's a pleasure. Like, I understand you haven't had breakfast, you haven't had coffee, you're freezing your butt off in cold Melbourne weather. And that's the proof of how dedicated you are.
Yeah. And just to add to that, Ed, I just want to say before the interview, I actually have a cold shower in the middle of winter too. So I have cold showers every day. I don't actually believe in warm showers. Like, why would you want to be warm when you can be cold?
That's an interesting viewpoint. When you said, I had a cold shower, I immediately thought of the albino monk on Da Vinci Code whipping himself.
Dude, that's hilarious.
So we got straight into it. Now, you are a very high-end global fitness and education coach. You're massive on LinkedIn. Before I go into the detail, why on earth would you have a cold shower? Like, is it like a Da Vinci Code thing, or what's the actual reason for it?
Ed, I just like to challenge my mind and my body. I always like to be growing and testing myself and just seeing what I'm capable of. It's more of a mental toughness thing for me every day. So like, I'm used to it now. I have a cold shower, no dramas. It's fine. But essentially I just want to be able to optimize my mindset, my energy, and get super focused for the day. And as we've been working together for a while now, you know that I'm very much like that, very focused and like high energy. So I like to be able to, give that to obviously your audience, my clients, and people that demand my time and energy.
Well, that I actually have a lot of respect for. And I know we've spoken a lot about this off camera. I was in the army a long time ago. I once did, I think it was 5.5 to 6 weeks of survival training in the South Australian desert at the Al Alamein Army Camp. And it was, it got to about -4 overnight, I think, and got to about 40 during the day.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, it's a pleasure having you with us. It's awesome that you're so dedicated. Can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do and how you add value to people's lives?
Okay. So firstly, obviously you said before, I'm an online personal trainer. But for me, how I add the most value to people's lives is meeting them where they're currently at in their journey and simplifying the fitness and nutrition journey. So it's more about what it is that you're able to fit in your life and start actually moving forward with. And then most importantly, being able to maintain that in the long term. So being able to maintain your health and fitness journey is more important than, doing a challenge or, having a specific time frame to be able to get to where you want to go. Now, I know that's important for some people because they might have to get ready for a photo shoot or, they've got an event or they're getting married or whatever that is. But more importantly, you want to be able to maintain it. That's the key. So I share.
And just on that point, I love how you brought up the word maintain because I don't think enough, and you're very good. There's a reason why you're a #1 LinkedIn influencer in health. I don't think enough people in health and fitness talk about maintenance. They're all about fitting into the dress, fitting into the tux, looking good on TV. Then after that, if you turn into, fat bastard off Austin Powers, good on you. Like, it's a common problem, isn't it?
Yeah. So like if you look at where we're at in the world with fitness and obesity and things like that, we don't actually have a weight loss problem because people can do it. They know how to lose weight, so to speak. But we have a weight management problem. It's being able to keep it off and still enjoy your life without feeling restricted, and that you can still do those things that are important to you like, you know, having dinner with the family every night, you know, going out on the weekends, maybe having picnics and things without actually feeling as though I've got to eat a celery stick and a carrot every day. Do you know what I mean? That's a pretty crazy example, but you get my drift.
Well, and people do it. I've seen great people, and again, gender irrelevant, men, women, gay, straight, religious or not. It's a human problem, not a particular part of problem. Where they've done that, they're really overweight, and all of a sudden they literally are eating apples and celery sticks to lose all the weight. And you see them a year later, and they're often worse off.
Exactly. And look, Ed, we were brought into this world to be social, to network, to be part of a tribe. And also food is a huge component of that. It's a massive component. So it has to be flexible. You've got to be able to have that flexibility in your life, but also you need to understand the basics of real food. Once you understand the basics, then you can be more flexible. You can have that flexibility. But if you don't understand it, then it's going to be a very long road for you. Whereas if you take the time and actually understand how foods make you feel, how they make you, you know, look, whether they give you energy or not, whether they keep you awake at night, whatever that may be, that's just spending time and getting in touch with yourself, more to the point.
And I love where you're going, and you've given me some amazing coaching and help with my own health management. And one thing that you said to me that I love doing, and this works great for me, if I eat a big meal at dinner, I feel I won't get up in the morning. If I eat very lightly at dinner, which I did last night, I wake up full of health and vitality. Why is that? Why do small dinners, and you've helped me do that, why does it make us feel so good in the morning?
A couple of things, Ed. Like, I think it really depends on the overall intake of food for the day. So what works for you with the small dinner actually is opposite. Whereas I like a big dinner, and hang on a minute, the train is just about to go past. There it goes.
Let's listen. Now, just on the note of it, and for the sake of our audience, a lot of us, and me included, think you look a bit like Ryan Reynolds, as in from Deadpool. I don't know. I'm getting the train going past. You look like Ryan Reynolds. I'm getting a real Deadpool vibe from you here. What are your thoughts on that one?
Ooh, mate, I'm not sure. I don't even think I've watched that movie.
You have to watch it, Ryan. It's a satire, and Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds, absolute genius of films. It is a satire, but it's like an absolutely brilliant satire, and Ryan Reynolds pulls it off beautifully.
I'm going to go and watch it.
There you go.
Tonight. My lovely life. So what I was saying is like everyone's different. There is no cookie cutter approach to nutrition. It's what suits you. And like, you know, that works well for you, having a light dinner and getting up. Also, I think too, why you feel so much energy and feel light on your feet and good in the morning is because your body's had time to process toxins, rejuvenate, recover, rather than trying to break down food and use energy to digest food. So instead of doing that, your body is actually detoxifying itself, recovering, and energizing you while you're sleeping. And therefore, you may go into a deeper sleep, which means you will recover faster.
Which is funny. It's funny you say that, because I did that last night, because I was thinking about an interview, and I thought I'm going to practice what I preach. So I had a very small dinner last night, and I had a deep sleep. I feel great. Whereas the night before, I had a big dinner and I could not get out of bed. So I tested both extremes in the past few days just for this interview.
Yeah. So just a quick bit of advice. If you are going to have a big dinner, if you can, try and have it like 3 hours before bed, 2 to 3 hours. And that'll help you to have a better quality of sleep. Sleep is highly important. So, there's a couple of things that you can do there to optimize your sleep. And that's why Edward Zia feels pumped up for today for the interview, in which I am as well.
And another thing I was going to say as well, I'm just being intellectually honest. So for the sake of the interview, we're doing this interview in roughly mid-May, and we're coming towards the end of Corona, or at least in a lot of parts of the world. So the world's starting to open up again. The first week of Corona, I stacked on the weight. Then I spent the next 3 weeks losing it all. It was such a shock. Because again, I used to go to the gym 4 times a week. All of a sudden, I can't go to the gym. It was such a system shock.
Yeah.
And for me, it was quite interesting. What I want to ask you about that one, how did you manage that personally? Like, how did you and your clients get through that Corona bump with that huge forced change in our behavior?
Ed, great question. Firstly, I'll talk about clients first. So, great question. Just touched base with all the clients. So firstly, one-to-one, went and reached out and made sure, like, where are you currently at? How are you going with everything? What is it that you need? That's the first step. So just communication with your clients, and also just sort of amping up. And I know I've seen you do it as well on LinkedIn, is amping up. Hang on a minute. There goes the train again.
And just out of interest, on a side note, you've got a train line nearby. What part of Melbourne do you live in, and what train is it?
Okay, so that's going into the city. I live in the eastern suburbs, so Watsonia, Greensboro area, near Ivanhoe. Familiar?
And beautiful area, as all I can see is just beautiful trees behind you. Our clients from Los Angeles in the Middle East are very jealous of you, is all I can say.
Oh, mate, Mother Nature at its best.
Sorry, please continue.
All right, so back to the COVID-19, the Corona stuff. I noticed that you sort of amped up your content around Corona, being a bit more about, tribe building and letting people know that they're not alone and that we are in this together, which I think is huge. So for me personally, it was just more about making sure that everyone is okay, seeing how they're feeling about everything, what I can help with. And then for myself, to be honest, Ed, it doesn't affect me in my mindset. For me, I come from something negative like this in the real world. My mindset is, it's very resilient to negative things. It's like, how can I make this a positive?
Yeah.
That's the
and you make a good point. That's a reason why you're a global personal trainer, why you're a LinkedIn influencer. Because I say this to a lot of our friends, is that if you feel down, you're not going to post very good content. It's that mindset allows you to thrive. And I think it's that mindset that makes you so powerful. And how do you help your clients? And better question, actually, What's your advice to our viewers around the world to build that Adrian Lea mindset to really help them resist that external damage?
Okay, so the reason why I've been able to, and I'm a human, like I'm not Superman or anything like that. I'm a human. I go through bouts of where I feel down as well, but I'm mindful of that. I know when I'm feeling like that because I'm in touch with my body. I know what foods to eat, what not to eat, what makes me energized, what doesn't, when to eat certain foods to go to bed and sleep, when not to eat them because they'll make me tired and unproductive during the day. So our audience right now that I'm speaking to, it's a fair chance that a lot of them are high performers and are looking to maybe build their business or career or whatever it is. But in order to do that, we need to be in touch with ourselves, because if we don't look after ourselves, how can we be helping and coaching other people be their best? So I think the biggest tip that I can give people is to challenge yourself with physical activity such as weight training. Weight training, lifting weights, has allowed me to become more in the present moment because it's just me and the weights. I'm focused on what I'm doing, the exercise, and that is how I've built up my resilience to, getting stronger in the body, in the mind, but also socializing aspect as well, right? So it's training and helping other people can be a challenge, and people like a challenge, right? But also, it's just something that I've wanted to progress with over time. It's part of my self-development. But I know that by looking after my fitness and my health as priority, regardless of what's going on, I'm able to show up every day and give what I can to the universe, to my clients, to my wife, to my friends, to my family. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't optimizing my brain, right? And my body.
I think it's extremely well said. And I think it's what you're saying is amazing. I want to ask you a question. I got asked this the other day, and I knew I was going to save this one for you. And I remember going through it. When I used to be, quite overweight. And when I first originally went to the gym, I was terrified about it. So when I was overweight, I was absolutely terrified about going to the gym because I felt embarrassed about it, right? I want to ask you, if you're unhealthy, you're overweight or whatever, and you want to take those first steps, and you're feeling embarrassed like I used to be, how can you best overcome that embarrassment? And what are some of your thoughts to help people through that?
Embarrassment as in specifically with the gym, or just getting out and about in general?
I had everything. I was kind of embarrassed about going to the gym. I was sort of nervous about going originally because I was so unkept and I just didn't look that good.
Yep.
I felt afraid of taking the first step. And how do you help people take that? In fact, what's your advice to people to take that first step to really take charge of their health and their lives?
Just get started. So there's no perfect way of doing anything. You've just like, if you don't like doing it, just get started, because what that does is when you get started and you take small steps, that's what we call building momentum. And when you see little wins, they make you feel good. And then you build it, get another win, another win, another win, another win, and it builds up until you build some confidence. Now, that's probably not the most clearest answer, but if it's in a gym environment and you are just starting out and you do want to go to a gym, I would highly recommend having a consultation with a personal trainer, a fitness professional, even if it's just to go there and get a plan. All right, get them to show you around the gym. Invest some money, like seriously, invest a few dollars in your fitness. Get a plan, just get the ball rolling, and then make your mind up. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you just want to get up every day and go for a walk for 10 to 20 minutes first thing in the morning, which is a great start, which is what I highly recommend most of my clients get started with. Remember, it's not a race, right? It's a journey. It's something, let's just say, for example, I'll go very off track for 2 seconds. 1, 2, I'm back on track. No, I'm not. Let's just say, right, that actually I've lost my train of thought for a sec.
You get it, train of thought, train going past, train of thought. Yeah, pretty good, huh?
Let's just say it's taken you 10 years and you've been putting on weight on and off over that time. It's not going to take you the next 30 days to drop it all. It's a journey. It's going to take time. So my advice is to get started, build momentum, be consistent with that, and make it so easy that it's hard not to do it. Right? Now, it depends on where you're currently at, as I was saying. If you have an event coming up in 90 days, great. There's an approach to get the fastest results possible in the least amount of time in a healthy manner, because that is my job, right? You've had all the coaching, Ed, in the past. You've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching. Likewise, learning from the best saves you time, because we know what works and what doesn't. And it's about finding what works for you as an individual, and then making you align Literally, this word alignment is my favorite word to say lately. It's like aligning your goal here with your actions. If they're not aligning, we call that misalignment, right? So you've got a goal, great. So what are you currently doing? Like, you want to get here, but you're not showing through your daily actions the process that you want to reach that goal. So all it is simply aligning people with what they want, meeting them where they're currently at in their fitness and health journey, and more importantly, where they're at in life in general. Hang on a second. Good old trains going past again. At least I'm preparing you before it comes.
Good.
So Ed, it's more about lifestyle, structure, right? Having some structure and having some rules. Now I know this is not for everyone, but it does work for a lot of people. Having some structure in the day of when you're going to get things done and not go off the bridge. So having bumper rails as such.
Oh, very well said, Adrian. I think you've given a great start. And as we bring the interview towards an end, I actually want to quickly jump onto the topic of LinkedIn. Now, we originally met over LinkedIn. I saw you as an amazing, sort of sports health influencer. Yep. How did you become an influencer on LinkedIn and build that huge global community?
Okay, couple of things. Consistency. So showing up every day, finding myself and my message for the market. So being able to get better on video. So obviously that's been a journey over time. And just meeting people where they're at and giving some no BS information that people can get results in advance. So anyone who reads or watches my videos or information, it's about being able to take action on my information, my videos, the content, and then implementing it into your day. Because once you see that works, chances are you're going to know, well, this person knows what they're talking about. All right. So it's focusing on giving people the important aspects of fitness and health and getting them to focus on areas of their life that are going to give them the best bang for their buck or time for money, really. Does that make sense?
Beautifully well said. And Adrian, you've given out so much information. I'd love to hear your closing thoughts for our wonderful audience around the world. What are your closing thoughts to help them really succeed with their health and more?
Closing thoughts. Great question, Ed. Take and make the time for yourself to figure out what it is, where you're at in your life, whether it's your fitness, your health, your career, whatever, and how can you align your daily schedule, your routine, your family, right? And how can you start getting some results, maybe having more energy, maybe, moving a little bit more. How can you align your goal with your daily actions and start taking steps every day to get there? Because remember, it's not a race, it's a journey. It takes time, but we need to plan. We need to have a plan and we need to act on that plan every day, making it easy as possible for ourselves whilst simplifying everything. Simplify it, right? So one extra little bit, Ed, that I'd like to say is my day starts the night before, right? I don't want to be thinking about what I'm eating for breakfast. I don't want to be thinking about what I'm wearing for the day. I don't want to be thinking about what I'm posting on social media. It's done the night before. Because what happens is magic. You go to bed and your brain is piecing together your next day. If you can get up and make very few decisions, you can focus on what's important in your life. What's important, right? Maybe your career and work. So if you can have all your nutrition and your exercise already scheduled in, and you've planned your meals in advance and your nutrition, you can focus your brain power on what's important, which is two things, your work, your career, right? And maybe fitness is as well, but family, right? That's very important too. So we can get the things done which are important to us, our fitness, our health, our work, and we can come home and spend time with the family, be social, and enjoy life and feel amazing. Boom.
Oh, incredible. And Adrian, before you go very quickly, how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, so firstly, I am very, very, very active on LinkedIn. So you're quite welcome to send me a message on LinkedIn, or alternatively, you can go to my website, Leeway Fitness, Leaway fitness.com.au, and you can get in contact with me there.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And just before you go, Adrian, I just want to probe you for some secrets. What secret stuff have you got coming up, and where to from here?
Secrets. Okay, so right now I'm currently working on, which I'm speaking to you with actually, about the Teachable membership site. But more importantly, doubling down on what I'm currently doing, which is a simple system to be able to help more people on LinkedIn. And yeah, so lots of exciting things. But more importantly, we're having our first baby in July. So I'm excited for that. And that'll definitely change life a little bit. But I'm excited. I'm ready for it. And I'm just going to take as it comes and, continue obviously working with yourself, because you're an amazing mentor. And I look at you more as a mentor than a coach, Ed. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot more work with you and watching you as well. Crush it in the LinkedIn.
Well, Adrian, it's a pleasure. And I'm sure, of course, from our whole audience and everyone from us to you, your baby is going to be very lucky having parents like you and their wife. They're going to be an absolute high performer, definite Prime Minister presidential material. That's all I can say. So if we have Prime Minister Lee in about 30 or 40 years, that won't surprise me one bit. I just want to say, Adrian, final word to you. I just want to say a big thank you from myself and behalf of our incredible audience.
Edward, thank you very much, mate. I am super grateful to not only be working with you, but more importantly, to be on this journey and to be able to help the people that we want. So, dude, thank you. And Lassie, much appreciated. And I'm super excited for what's to come.